Hello guys, it's Randall with Bitraged. So I just dropped a video on Luxury Coin, which was supposed to be a lending ICO. If you're interested in that or heard that, check out that video. And I'd mentioned Shift.Cash in that, so I wanted to do a quick follow-up video. It's actually not so quick because I actually been spending a few days researching this to do a video on, and I've been looking into this for several weeks as a potential to invest in. I actually missed the pre-sale, and so I was looking forward to the February ICO sale. So basically the idea behind Shift.Cash, and their video is actually pretty good, so go there to their website, Shift.Cash, watch that. It'll give you a pretty good idea of what they're about, what's going on, and explains a lot of things you probably have the questions on. So basically the idea behind this ICO is the ability to use your property, specifically your car, as collateral to get a quick loan. And the way this works is you would sign up or you download an app on your phone and you would sign up for an account. You'd input information on your car, you'd upload title information and information for them to check against a database to figure out the value of your car. Supposedly they have been working with a system that car dealerships actually use to determine a car's value. If that is indeed true, it does sound like they have a good understanding of the market, and they explain in the white paper that they have been working in this market for several years in one way or another. So this is a market that is somewhat tapped, but this would actually revolutionize it if they could actually pull this idea off into real world conditions. I think it would be interesting. Looking at the white paper is fairly detailed. It goes over a lot of information. It talks about how it works for the borrowers, the investors, and a lot of questions, like I said, you would have would probably be answered by the white paper. One discrepancy I noticed is the homepage in the white paper. One says 35% and the other says 30% is the maximum value of a loan based on the car value. So I'm assuming it's just a mistake, but that is a discrepancy nonetheless. Is it 30% or is it 35%? That would be good to know. So I'm not going to go through and read this again. You need to take the time, research this, and read it for yourself. It's important for you to understand how it works if this is something you want to get into. It intrigued me the first time I heard about it because I like the idea of a common person being able to get into investing, and the idea of a common person with a vehicle who needs quick loan to be able to get on their app and put their car up as collateral. This sounds like a cool idea if it can be taken fully to production. So they go over some of the risks. Right there it mentions 30% of the assessed value of the collateral, and on the homepage it says 35%. Again, I don't really think that's a huge thing, but it is a discrepancy. So a few interesting points. I'm just going to capture a couple things. First of all, inside the platform where you're going to be working with Zcash, you're not using real money. So when you put your car up for collateral, you get Zcash, which you can then cash out with at an ATM using a card that they're going to give you, a Shift.Cash card. And there's also a virtual card that you'll be issued, which you can use online. So inside Shift.Cash, you're using the Zcash token in the ecosystem. You can cash it out for dollars, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, or the euro if that is the case. So it's important to understand that the idea is to push the value of Cash, to push the demand of Cash within the ecosystem. So there's always a demand for Cash. Um, you're going to be paying if you have a loan through Shift.Cash, you'll be paying fees with Cash tokens. So the idea is to push the value of the tokens. It sounds like a legitimate idea. Again, how this translates into real world may be slightly different. It's important to understand that. Nothing is guaranteed. I do like the idea behind it. Another thing, it sounds like, and it could be just the wording, but it sounds like you will be able to actually use other kinds of cryptocurrency to invest or borrow. I'm not sure exactly. It mentions a couple times cryptocurrency transfers, which may just mean the Cash token. If it means other currency like using, well, I know they'll use Ethereum. I'm pretty sure that they're going to allow Bitcoin. But if you can use a lesser known altcoin, that would be pretty cool. And if they could convert that for you to be able to pay fees, convert it to Cash and then pay fees with Cash, that would be interesting. I think that would be pretty cool. So the idea behind this is to make it simple. The borrower would download the app on his smartphone, his or her smartphone, and complete the registration. I don't think it's as simple as we would want it to be, because something like this can't be too simple because you're getting a loan. So you're going to have certain information, obviously, about the car, about yourself, to make sure it's legitimate. But they're making it simpler than I believe than, or they are intending to make it more simple than any other current method. You will have to put a QR code under the windshield and take a picture of your car to prove that you own it, that type of stuff. They do mention in the white paper a few measures that they've taken to prevent fraud and abuse of the system. That is an important step. Another interesting point is penalties accrued by the borrower for not paying on time actually go to the investor as income. So it sounds like to me, from reading the white paper over, that those additional fees for late penalties or whatnot would be pure profit to the investor. There would be no fees going to Shift. I could be wrong on that, but that's the insinuation I'm getting. Interesting idea. The investor would make more money. So what happens if the borrower does not return the loan? Well, there's not much information on this, but it sounds like to me it's basically the same as any other circumstance. The debts are sent to collection agencies. The collection agencies would send a repo team out to collect the vehicle. The vehicle would be sold, and then the money would be paid to the investor. So pretty much guaranteed, or as close to guaranteed as you can, that the investor is going to get their money back. There's always a gamble, and this is not in real world. I mean, it's being developed, so we haven't seen it in action yet, but it sounds like it would be a fairly good investment, fairly guaranteed as much as possible you can in this type of market. So there it's talking about the virtual card that I just mentioned, and the plastic card that you'll receive, which the plastic card can be used at ATMs that will support these systems. We're not sure exactly yet what that actually means, but I think in the coming months and years, ATMs are going to support these systems. So whatever that entails, it's going to have to start supporting cryptocurrency and exchanging cryptocurrency to fiat. It's just going to become mandatory. Whether it's 2 years down the road or 5 years, it's going to become mandatory eventually. It may not continue into real world the same as a roadmap or white paper. So keep that in mind. Be very mindful of that. I want to spend a couple minutes before we wrap this up looking at their team. Thomas Novak, the CEO, and going down the list. I tried to find more information on these people, and I was slightly disappointed in the lack of finding information. It says he has more than 5 years in the car loan business. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying that as far as his profiles on the internet, a lot of the stuff that's mentioned here, I could not validate all of it. And it doesn't mean it's not true, it just means I could not validate it. So this is the only profile that's actually linked to a LinkedIn or a social profile on their website, which is kind of interesting. He only has 54 connections on LinkedIn, which I'd expect more from a CEO of a company like this, with somebody that has the background that it mentions he has. It shows experience as CEO from 2015 to present, and his education from this university, but that's it. There is nothing else, which is slightly concerning to me. I would expect to see more than that. I was able to research and find this guy as well, and it's basically the same idea. He has 20 connections. He's a blockchain developer for Shift.Cash since 2015. Same university graduates at, which is interesting, and that's it. So that's kind of concerning to me, that these people don't have more to their profile as far as their experience, as far as their background, who they worked for and with. It's just like they appear on the scene. That's concerning. I mentioned that in a couple of videos in my reviews. I like this project. I'm not trying to knock it. I am planning to invest in it. But I do want you to have the facts as well, that you have to understand there is a risk. And when you see stuff like this, it slightly increases the risk. Now, it doesn't mean they're a scam. It doesn't mean there's anything nefarious going on. It could mean that they just simply aren't good at figuring this stuff out. I tend to kind of lean that way in a little bit because their marketing and promotion is pretty horrible. Their Twitter, Reddit, there is nothing. I mean, they posted a couple times. There's not a lot of information that they're providing to their people that are investing. For instance, this is the Shift.Cash on Reddit. This is it. This is it, and it's not popular or nothing. I mean, that's not something I like to see. I like to see community involvement. I like to see things taking off, a good marketing team, and I'm kind of disappointed in that aspect, which leads me to a little bit of concern for the project. Their Facebook is a little bit better updated. It's not updated as frequently as I'd like to see, but it's a little better updated. A lot of the information is on the ICO. Their GitHub is updated up to a month ago, so that's a plus. So what do I think of the project overall after I've researched it? When I first saw this project, I really liked the idea behind it. I really felt like it had potential, that it could really go places. I've uncovered a few things that do concern me. I've mentioned most of them in the video. That's not going to deter me from actually investing in February when the ICO actually starts, but it does still concern me a little bit, and the things that I mentioned. So I do like it. I do think it has potential. I do believe if they're able to pull it off, it will be successful, and I do believe that you will be able to make money on it, but that is not a guarantee. Nobody can guarantee that. So it's a risk, as are all ICOs. I think as far as risks go and as far as ICOs go, it's a decent bet. It's not my favorite ICO right now, but there's a lot of lending ICOs coming out that are scams, outright scams. There's a lot of them that don't have a lot of information, and Shift.Cash does have quite a bit of information. Their white paper is pretty well put together. It has a lot of information, a lot of questions answered. If this is a scam, it's a very high-tech, very well-crafted scam, and I don't believe it is a scam. I believe that if the risk that is involved is in it failing pretty much. That's my opinion. So anyways, that's about it. The potential here, and they've mentioned just briefly, they want to take this from car loans to other areas. I would like to see them just hit the car market and dominate that. And if they can dominate the car loan market, that would be pretty cool. And I think anybody who invests would be pretty happy with that. But I'm interested to hear what you think, so comment below, let me know what you think of the ICO. If you have invested in the pre-sale or you plan on investing into the ICO, and your reasoning behind that, I'd love to hear. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to ensure that you do get notified when we drop a new video. You do not want to miss out on getting the videos as soon as they drop. And please like the video, I'd appreciate that, and share it on your social media so we can share the knowledge and share the wealth. There's enough to go around. Thanks so much, guys, and take care.